It's like whoever, honestly. Especially because I can't afford to throw things very much.
Huge price
Yeah, that felt a lot better. But that was pretty close. You gotta stick these around, but like you were able to. Oh no, I meant like get wheels on it, but you were able to. I was able to turn it on to do that. I walked out of the water because we flight. That's unfortunate. Okay, not bad. It's sticky in some spots.
There's like those two wizards.
I have one strat.
And then blue.
Yeah, it was like a pumpkin or something.
Looks like it was gonna
It's too far to the right. Yeah, we have some hiccups with deaths a little bit, but I think we can manage that a little bit better. Yeah, specifically on this map, yeah, it's not very good. Because because bonerattle is kind of like yard, where it's just like mobile weapons thrive better than slower ones.
Because all the ledges let you kite rather than have to worry about the lessers of threat.
Lighter weapons recover ink faster. They have less end lag. They also have less white ink or whatever it's called.
Whiting frames, yeah.
Plus, like, as you see, the entrenches, it's like you're not able to turn, like, retake your whatever else you kind of it's not that best. And then even then, if it tries to raise scrappers, it's dead.
I think it just relies a lot of shield launching in this map.
Or like teamwork. If it's like within 2 that's like
Slow weapons. Except for behind baskets.
There's 3 big shots. All the blasters.
Try to tell me I didn't have enough to shoot when I had half my tank. Thank you. No doggy. Very epic.
Watch out, he's still dead.
I'm just gonna kill the other workers because it's very nice. Sure, if I should stay at a big shotgun for the whole race and there's barely anything spawned there.
Nothing's wrong. There's nothing else wrong.
I feel like nothing else because it's really easy to make that.
Sure.
I think they have huge snatchers.
There's a big shot. final spawn is... It could have. Yeah, you still got all the eggs.
Still got it.
Yeah. You probably would slam with to fill up the chest. Yeah, save it sometime. Let's fucking go.
Awesome. Awesome.
Ironically, I think normal tide is this map's best tide.
I still think it's low side.
Tide's pretty solid. I just think it's a bit too wide sometimes.
If it's a high tides.
It has really solid day waves, but its night waves are just so fucking ass.
Yeah, except for like tornado charge sometimes and mud sometimes. And mothership not really. I will say this is the only mothership. I think this is the only mothership map that is not good.
No, Raider's still not the type.
Oof. Well, fair enough.
I sentence you to Jam and Flame Junction normal type Felicia.
That's not bad.
It's pretty bad.
Ignorance is
Spoiler alert, it's pretty bad.
it's pretty bad. It is not running. They're good.
Snatchers optimized for big shot.
I didn't have anything to do with a basket, like a big shot hand or something.
Something I like to do is that I just buy
Do that sometimes, but I didn't really see much in my direct vicinity.
Never mind, you're dead. Never mind.
The heal. I didn't realize the heal was on me. It says front or front. Oh yeah, red tag one. Yeah, that's pretty good red too.
Shame it like barely happens.
Yeah, really.
If it's always Kohawk card, is it near? Does it, like, is Kohawk card the higher range?
It probably has. Little small on the right.
There's a ball. Just on the right, that's the ball as well. Actually, it won't break this stick, I'll just leave it that.
New goldfish, man.
Spawn churches.
Oh, boy. No fucking way. One
Man,
jump.
I love Carter's big.
So good, jump.
Oh my god, wait.
It's like now,
I can't feel
no, okay, so I can just put this one skedaddle. Pause if you had some much right side.
I did not. Or that.
Oh, okay. So, just didn't have to use that side. Maybe a big snatcher and then 20% to it, he got killed. It's fine. It was close. Keep some assistance.
double blitz.
I think I just gotta look on my bearings for this map specifically. Sometimes there's like a steel eel underneath like baskets and I just don't see it and I get one shot.
We got bomb.
Sorry, go scrapper. Send a brother. Between the snatcher and like
Thank you guys.
What's the world record for headshots?
It's like 55.
65.
65? Yeah.
I think yeah, I think that pushed higher.
Must have been done with like glass version then.
Yeah, much better to much closer to ever alive. This is in fact true. Waiter, more high tide and low tide, please.
Big shot.
True, that is also true.
Waiter, Splatoon 4, give us the Grisco big shot cannon. Vigorous shot cannon.
Give us Spotland Gold shot cannon, please.
That's gonna be next year.
I hope so.
Or give
It
us
should be
Barnacle
next
and
year.
Dime. Give us Barnacle and Dime already.
Because every 3 months, because it's a map every 3 months, so it should be sometime like summer or fall.
What if they just like skip it back to one of the worlds? And that's gonna be so fucking disappointing.
Dude, that'd be so fucking sleeping, bro.
It'd be funny if they made one also included Grand Splat Bowl and its rotation. Because it's every job site.
It's so
We're at a summer flying, They're coming from the outside. Well, land is
It was
What guys?
Let's fucking go.
How did you get to see what special I had?
Purple splash town.
Look at these fireworks. Oh, close. I'm gonna hit them perfectly.
Yeah. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's double check, because that window's actually
No, I mean, if you were to get it.
I want the right side.
Just on the right. Another one on the right.
Reflectors on the field and those special bullets.
Big shot on.
And there are some exhorters, so just keep coming.
They're off in force too, so it's just
And we only have one special that can get it.
Two resellers.
There's a big shot in the middle. Alright, so that one's good. Yeah, that one. Feel that there's way there as well. Structures are coming from the kiwis.
Spawns that we couldn't optimize over at Kiwi because we kept getting like a bunch of speeders, but they were staggered, so I think they can be both at the same time with retrospect as they were also.
I think we can afford just leaving there and have BSC X run.
There's the accepting windows, so
maneuvering around the block.
At the end there was
Oh.
We're getting better.
Yeah, we're improving by the hour.
Low battery.
83.8. Nice.
That's fucking good.
Oh yeah, I wish I had strike on that shift, not splashdown.
Or whale.
Yeah, I prefer strike because whale's a little bit janky.
Yeah. At the very least, like, whale lets you be on pressing. So really good at aiming and aiming at and just seeing the hitboxes like it's
I
really
can't wait for blow fun.
Yeah, they all
like right on top. I got my eye on the sentry, so I want
I'm more sad.
Oh, I got hit by the price.
good face, smooth. So that was good. Music at the place was good. Just the old story didn't fall.
Yeah. And the price too.
Yeah, that's it.
I think I would have been able to handle like get hits on my own. This is kind of still the like middle-ish of the game. Brothers were kind of left alive with the help the hits and that.
The only advantage was that was more than enough, since the basket area is so small anyways.
Yeah. Gonna go after the steam.
Probably gonna go cover now. There's actually not much left. Going to filters. So we put filters.
I think we could have afforded to. There were just two steelheads that were on the right. We can just ignore the flankers on the right.
It's kind of like drones where you don't want to kill a lot on grades, or else they'll just pile up there and be hard to run.
Yeah.
I'll do it
But I
for
think if there's eggs under there, you need to like run a certain thing on that. Kind of like like installing a whole bunch of
it could be open grades, wouldn't be a high priority. What is the problem?
Fires are coming,
Which is the one?
We can optimize this one.
I'm gonna run the best. A bunch of static spawn in the back corner. Or the snatchers.
No.
So I lost a lot of eggs lost there.
We just need to run those more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like our overall issue right now is egg running. Because I know, or from what I'm looking at, I don't think we're very proactive with egg throwing.
We're just gonna focus for eggs a little bit more.
Yeah.
Also, something that might help, I don't know, if you don't jump while throwing an egg, then you can run eggs a bit faster, since you recover ink faster. It's only
Yeah,
about,
the whiting frames.
it's only about like 6 frames, which isn't a lot, but it does add up over time.
Yeah, especially if you're a heavy weapon too, it really adds up because of the additional whiting frames that it has. Especially, this mostly applies to Sun Umbrella.
No. But it definitely helps if you just like need to do like 2 throws, and then you just don't jump the first throw, so you can have a think for a second throw.
Aside from being more active, honestly, trying to actively more there were times that shit where I was like, I don't know, turn my guard eggs and I was like, oh,
The stinger killer.
They're gonna fucking start to behind me, so fuck is gonna back over
I please,
That stinger killed me frame 2 on the front.
Yeah.
I get spawned and then he does.
Because of the chum were slowly damaging me as well. I didn't have proper timing with my vertical slashes for stamper. I guess it's because I'm used to decap slashes, not stampers anymore.
That's special.
No, it's rather too bad.
So I used to make like I actually like stamper on that like just die.
It's a very personal one.
I feel like I don't like how it feels. Like I'm a sword man. Yeah, I don't like. I think especially after you catch me now, I kind of realized why I don't like stampers so much. I can place my finger on it before it's such a strong feeling. And it's just because it's AoE hitboxes and like not in every direction. The vertical hitboxes.
It's also a very good weapon.
Very good weapon, I just don't like how it feels.
Yeah,
I hate that set tree that where they're like they drop it.
Yeah, from what I know, it's an elevation thing. If they're on the ground, say on the very low ground here, they're gonna fall down here. But if they're on the higher ground, like this, like where the rail is, then they'll fall on the bridge. Which I think is a really dumb advantage.
It's just really bad.
I think it just has a high skill ceiling. That's actually criminal, that steel hit on the far right skin, the aggro, when you're at the chains. That's criminal. G-Charger, where are you? I need you. True. You know, I think if Tenna Brother were like S-Blast, I think this would just be way better.
No. Or if we just didn't have triple
I
wind
think,
up.
Yeah, I think the blaster would be better.
That's a better shaped form of EOE. EOE?
EOE.
EOE. Yo.
Effective effect.
Area.
Eggs of effect.
Area of eggs.
Area of eggs.
Tornado.
I have whale.
Jet.
I have this bomb.
They will come back. I'm sorry to make it wrong. I didn't heal up soon. I think we can all afford to go since
Yeah.
those eggs are losing priority right now. They could fly it to
I got the last egg. You guys can go. I guess I needed Stanford to clear the west
No,
because they were starting to catch up to me.
there were 3 people with baskets, which wasn't really necessary since we had 4 eggs at the time. And they would have been fertility. So,
I think non-hosts can go.
well, you can
So keep that in mind.
also have try to get some of more away from baskets. Really jet it.
Then you're still coming from.
There's a jet after we grab them. Green.
Who did that? I mean, I am out of whale. I'm gonna attack that scrubber here. Oh, that's the entire wall coming.
Look for the backwards.
Are you guys going down? I'm noticing that a lot. Everyone just kind of clutters the basket.
That was the basket because I had 2 scrappers on me, so I didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah. I was at basket trying to take care of a flopper, but I couldn't paint it in time. Yeah, that's alright.
Sounds good.
Right, for the elusive Kanye's host.
Surely it'll happen just for one game, as is tradition. Basket for the host.
so much sooner. Yeah, I slowed down by the chum that were just there.
You said soon until we can communicate those were
Yeah, same.
He's fucking
Alcohol charge. Oh, it's even worse.
Fuck no.
I can't do that. Stanford probably can. It has longer range than the Surplus has like no more range than Switcher. Oh my god. You see what I mean? But it's just not good.
Well, we don't have good mothership yet.
We do. We have Stanford, we have Reflux. We have Ballpoint. It's just, yeah, it's just like,
I mean,
it's
for
not
the
very
map.
good.
I don't think Reflex is a good mothership weapon for the map. It's not good. You have like Bamboozler or something?
I mean, Bamboozler is good for all maps, though.
Right. But like...
I feel like it is, but it's just on certain times it's not. Low tide is a good example that it's good since it's a flat area, but if it's anything, if it has anything to do with like with higher elevation, then yeah, it's not very good.
That 71 high tide day was pretty baller.
That was pretty good,
Yeah.
Good
I don't know if I
place.
should
Other than that-
tag or if we had a snatch and steal one randomly.
No, it was that basket, but we forgot to.
Oh, okay.
Have to
Then
put
I
it
missed
in.
my egg then, I think.
Yeah. I think overall we just need to work more on bonerattle.
Mainly,
Because I know I noticed we're struggling a lot with this map too.
yes.
Yeah.
The thing for me is, a lot of the time people say there's a lot of eggs somewhere, but that doesn't really cook for me as asking me to go do something.
I think that's a good, I guess like approach to that concern, is that when someone says there's a lot of eggs, I think a this way ping could work out better. I think just to identify who's talking and who's ping. I think like we can just track down who said this way.
My brain doesn't fill in the subtext when people ask me to do things or just say things. Like when I asked who's going to low tide Tornado for the second crate, no one actually answered my question. Pongus just said he was going, so I didn't know what to do, so I just stayed at high tide.
Oh, you meant in general.
Oh, okay, you meant in general. Okay.
I think at least for
Because I go by assumption. If that's the case.
For me, at least like for the type that kind of prompted me to notice this, I was saying I need help with these eggs. I need to move them.
No.
I think probably there was no ping or wasn't really paid attention too much.
No, could
I tend not to
that.
ping because I don't actually notice the ping sounds. I filter them out like naturally.
Just for PK specifically, I can't hear PK very well.
That's fair.
And
I think
I have her turned up to 100% on Discord, and I have my volume up, but I just struggle with her voice.
I think turning PK up higher than 100% might help. I think
I mean like
what?
200%.
Oh, 200%. Okay.
As far as I'm aware, I can't make her any louder.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough spot since that will probably require either like a better microphone or just overall more sound inputs.
High.
I can hear PK
I'm not
quite
really
well.
Oh, probably has to be closer to your. Has to be closer, so Artie can hear.
Okay, so I don't know why it keeps doing this, but my computer system keeps constantly lowering my mic's input volume to like 70 to 80, and I don't fucking know why. I keep resetting it to 100, right? Because that's what it's supposed to be. And then every time I check, because someone says I can't hear PK very well, which is crazy to me because I'm a pretty audible person when I'm on my computer. And it's like, oh, yeah. Fucking piece of shit Windows, man. I don't know.
Yeah, now I can hear you. Now I can hear you significantly better.
Yeah, like I don't fucking know, man.
So it's just this is the computer issue. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I don't think it's not really much to do about that one. That one is just like that one is just a computer is kind of shitty kind of thing. I also just genuinely find like the in-game ping sound and visuals overstimulating. It's a lot of sensory clutter for me. That's fair. Is there anything that we can do to like help work around it? Like any recommendations that we can start?
I'm really not sure, because for me, the way I got around it is I got very good at spatial and landmark memory with each of the maps, so that's why I do directional callouts. Because I just mentally pick low tide as... Unless it's something like Rotor's Bay where low tide is behind where you spawn, I generally pick low tide as forward. Because on most maps it usually is forward. Or like I go based on what direction the basket like drops you for like say spawning grounds for example. Spawning grounds drops you facing towards the docks. But also spawning grounds just has pretty noticeable landmarks with great docks beach. You can just kind of use that anyways.
Yeah.
For hydro plant I treat low tide as forward and then I go left right forward based on that. But I know directions are hard for people as well.
I think me and people just struggle to work together because of the different things we struggle with.
Yeah. I think
we can probably spend some time figuring something out. We've never really addressed it until now, so...
Yeah, I'm trying to think here how can this work. Yeah, I'll probably do some thinking this week.
I'll also try to come up with something.
Yeah, so no worries if like this is like addressed late. No worries about that. I think it's better to say it now so we can figure out how to work around this problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely we'll be doing some thinking how this can how this can work.
Nope.
Because like, also my concern with using strings is if some of us need to make like callouts relatively around the same time, that it's a bit confusing about who's where. Because the ping only does